You the IM3 Chapter 3 Post-Quiz Extra Practice Number 1 Solutions on Reviewing Factoring. This one's got a puzzle. Let's see what that's all about. So here's the puzzle that goes with our extra practice. We're trying to solve the riddle, what do you call a government count of prisoners? And the idea here is on the left side we have this column with expressions that need to be factored, and the next two columns are the two factors of those expressions. So the idea here is, let's say you do this first one and you find that the factors are, the ones contained in 3 and O. I don't think they are, but let's say that that was the answer. Then under spot 3, you would put an O down on these spots below. So this would get an O if those were the two factors. So let's go ahead and see how these things shape out and see what we can do with this riddle. For our opening question, we're trying to factor x squared minus 3x minus 40. Since I have a 1x squared going on, I just need to look at factors of the last number that add up to the middle number. So factors of negative 40 that add up to negative 3. Well, let me think. We got 1 and 40, that's not going to work. 2 and 20 doesn't work. 4 and 10 doesn't work. The only thing left is 5 and 8. If I have positive 5 and negative 8, that would add up to negative 3. So let me break this up then into x plus 5 and x minus 8. And now let me find those two factors in my list of factors here. So let me see here, x plus 5. I don't see it in this first column, but I see the x minus 8. And then the x plus 5 is over here under n. So we have 6 and n going together. So that means 6 is n, and we move on to the next question. This time around, we're looking for factors of 18 that add up to negative 9. So let's see, we got 1 and 18, that doesn't work. 2 and 9 doesn't work. 3 and 6 does, if we have them both negative. So we'll do then x minus 3 and x minus 6. And let me see if I can find those. There's the x minus 6 under number 3 there. So now I'm looking for an x minus 3 over on the right. Let's see here, x minus 3 right there, that's an n. So then number 6 is an n. Actually, no. Where was x minus? Number 3 is an n. There we go. 3 is an n. I got mixed up with the 3 and the other 3. So let's see here. There we go. N for 3. On this one, I don't have a 1x squared, and most of the other ones I won't either. So at this point, if I can't take out any common factors, which it looks like I can't here, I'm going to have to use either guess and check or the AC method. And I'll use AC method just to do something systematic. So we have 2 times negative 7, giving me an AC value of negative 14. So I'm looking for factors of negative 14 that add up to positive 13, our middle coefficient. Let me think. 1 and 14, I could get that to work if I had negative 1 and positive 14. So I'm going to split up the 13x into a minus 1x plus 14x. I'm going to unadd it. And now that I've got 4 terms, I can factor this by grouping. So for my first 2 terms, I can take an x out of those. That leaves me with 2x minus 1. And then for the next 2 terms, 14 and 7, both divisible by 7, so I'll take out a 7, leaving me again with 2x minus 1. The 2x minus 1 is repeated, so I can take that out as a common factor. And then the leftovers in another parentheses are going to be the x and the plus 7. So let me see if I can locate those two factors. There's the 2x minus 1 under number 7, and that means I'm looking for an x plus 7, which is actually right over here under s. So then 7 is s. Let me put that right there. Next question. Again, we have an a value that's not 1. And we can't just factor out this 3, so we're going to use AC method here. 3 times 6 gives me AC of 18, and then things that multiply to 18 and add up to 11, that would be 2 and 9. So I can split this 11x up into a 2x plus 9x. Now let me use some grouping and factor things out. The first 2 terms I can take out just an x. That leaves me with 3x plus 2. And for the last 2, I can take out a 3 from 9 and 6. That leaves me with a 3x and a plus 2. 3x plus 2, that's my common factor that can come out of everything. And then we have an x plus 3 for the leftovers. So checking out those things, I see the x plus 3 right away here. That's 4. So I need a 3x plus 2 to match with that. And I see 3x plus 2 down here with letter C. So that means then that 4 is going to be a C. Next up, we've got number 5. I'm going to use AC method on this one as well. 6 times negative 3 now gives us a negative 18, so that's a little different than the last problem. So I need things that multiply to negative 18 and add up to negative 7. This time I'm going to go ahead and use 2 and negative 9. So that'll be split up then into a plus 2x minus 9x. Using some grouping, I can take a 2x out of the first two terms. That leaves me with 3x plus 1. And for the next two, I'm going to take out a negative because my third term is negative. I can take out a negative 3 specifically. So that's going to be a 3x plus 1. 3x plus 1 then is my common factor. And the leftovers, 2x minus 3, going in a parentheses right next to it. So let me see if I can get those over here. Here's the 2x minus 3. That's 8. So now I'm just looking for the 3x plus 1. That's up here with letter U, so that means then that 8 is U. Here we go with number 6. This is another one where we're going to need AC method. So we've got 6 times 4 for the AC value of 24. And now I need things that multiply to 24 and add up to negative 25. 1 and 24 works if they're both negative. So I'm going to split this up into a negative x minus 24x in the middle. For my first two terms, I can take out an x. That leaves me with 6x minus 1. For the last two terms, I'm going to take out a negative because the third thing is negative. So 24 and 4, I can take a 4 out of both of those. So let me take out negative 4, and then that'll leave me with 6x minus 1. 6x minus 1 comes out as our common factor. X minus 4 goes next door. And then checking those answers out on the left, I see 6x minus 1 right away with number 2 there. And then x minus 4 is down here with O. So that looks like 2 should be an O. For our next problem, we're going to use AC method again. 6 times negative 20, that's an AC value of negative 120. So this will be a little bit trickier. I'm looking for things that multiply to negative 120 and add up to negative 7. So just going through my list of possible factors, 1 and 120 definitely doesn't work. Neither does 2 and 60. 3 and 40, we're getting a little closer, but still not even remotely there. 4 and 30 doesn't work. 5 and what do I have to multiply by 5? Let me think here. Is it 24? Yeah, 5 and 24. That doesn't give me negative 7. 6 and 20. That gives me negative 14 I could get out of that. Still no good. 7 doesn't go into 120. 8. How many times does 8 go in? I believe 8 goes in, is it 15 times? Yeah, because 4 times 60, or 4 times 15 is 60, and double that is 120. 8 and 15, that could work. If I have positive 8 and negative 15. Hey, I think I found it. So we'll split this up into a plus 8x minus 15x. Using grouping, for the first two terms, I can take a 2x out of those. That leaves me with 3x plus 4. And for the last two terms, I'll take out a negative 5. That leaves me with 3x and plus 4. So 3x plus 4 comes out as a common factor. 2x minus 5 is the other factor then. Let me go ahead and find those. Let's see here. 2x minus 5, 3x plus 4, any of that over here on the left. 2x minus 1, 2x minus, oh, there it is, 2x minus 5, there we go. So now I'm looking for the 3x plus 4 over on the right. So let's see, that was 5, that was 2x minus 5. Over here on the right, e is 3x plus 4. So then 5e is what I've got. All right, let's keep going. This next one still can't take out any common factors, so we go to AC method. 12 times 15. I happen to know, but you could use a calculator if you wanted, that that's 180, negative 180. So I'm looking for factors of negative 180 that add up to negative 11. Now, I'm actually pretty good with 180 because that's a big number that comes up in trigonometry. But again, you might need to use a calculator to figure this out. So things that add up to negative 11. 1 and 180 doesn't work. 2 and 90 doesn't work. 3 and 60 doesn't work. 4 and 45, still no dice. 5 and 36 won't work either. Let me think. 6 and 30. 6 and 30. Getting closer, but still not working. I don't think 8 goes into 180. 9 and 20. Oh, positive 9, negative 20. That adds up to negative 11. Cool. So let's split this up into a plus 9x minus 20x. And now for some grouping. For the first two terms, I can take a 3 and an x out of those. That leaves me with, let's see, 12x squared divided by 3x. That's 4x. 9x divided by 3x is a plus 3. For the next two terms, I'm going to take out a negative 5. I feel like I've been in this situation a few times now. That leaves me with 4x plus 3. 4x plus 3 is our duplicate that we can take out of everything. 3x minus 5 goes next to that. Let me see if I can find those over here. 3x minus 5, actually the first thing, number 1. Cool. So now I'm looking for 4x plus 3. And I see that sort of in the middle, that's C. So then 1 is a C. And we're very close. We really just have one more letter, and I think I know what it's going to be, but let's do that last problem there. So here we are, last problem. This one's got an AC value of 8 times 3, so 24. That's actually kind of nice compared to the ones we've been dealing with, like 120, 180. Hey, 24. I feel like I can do this. So things that multiply to 24 and add up to 11. So it's not 1 and 24, it's not 2 and 12, although that's kind of close. 3 and 8 adds up to 11. So let me split this up into a plus 3x plus 8x. And you could do the reverse order if you find that easier. So doing some grouping, first two terms, I can take out just an x. That leaves me with 8x plus 3. For the last two terms, this is a little bit tricky. Since they don't have any common factors other than 1, all I can do is take out a 1. Which leaves me with 8x plus 3. No change there. But now 8x plus 3 turns out to be our common factor. And then x plus 1 is the other factor. Let me see if I got that over on the left. Let me think. 8x plus 3, that's number 9, which makes sense because that's the only blank we're missing. And then x plus 1 is an s. That's kind of what I expected out of this, so 9 is an s. Cool, now it's time to solve this puzzle. So what do you call a government count of prisoners? Consensus. Consensus, there we go. Like a census for counting people, and prisoners are cons, and also government is all about consensus. So all around a fantastic joke. Till next time, Mr. Sutton signing off.